Hey, everyone. Just so you know, there's probably going to be some stuff going on in the background. Let's just get right into it, shall we? Hopefully, I'll be able to finish up today. Planning on going for like 2 hours instead of one this time just to complete it. This is the defendant lobby, alright? But there's no defendant. I've been trying to reach Lana all morning. Where could she be? And where's Emma for that matter? It almost seems as if something's been happening behind the scenes. Edgeworth! Knowing you, you've already figured it out. Who the owner of the 7777777 ID number is, that is. Well, I have a pretty strong hunch. Looks like I'm not the only one who's figured it out. You know, the only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday is because there was still room for doubt regarding this ID record. If that number does belong to whom you suspect, then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything. True. Not yet. In any event, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling. 5 minutes, Wright, and Chief Prosecutor Skye will be found guilty. But she didn't do it! I figured you'd say as much. That's why I came here, to hear what you have to say. This is the first time he's ever done something like this. Lana's hiding something, and the only way we'll ever know the truth is to draw it out of her. The truth. Oh. One sec. Ooh. I completely forgot to do this. The truth. Everything goes back to the SL9 incident. Don't be stupid. Today's the last day of the trial. We don't have time to reminisce about the past. That depends on you. If she's found guilty, you'll lose your only chance to find out what really happened. I'll think about it. See you in court, right? This is it. If I'm ever going to find out what Chief Gant has on her, it's now. Okay. Session is... Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Normally, this is when the prosecution puts forth its opening statement. But before that, the police chief has a proposal to make. Chief can't. I can't. Morning, folks. How's everyone doing? Hey, Chief, been back at the pool yet? No, I've been drowning enough as it is in my work. Oh, that's a good one. Don't think I can top that. If you don't mind me asking, Chief, what exactly is this proposal of yours? Tension. Lana, that is to say the defendant, has asked me if she could speak directly to the court. She wants to do what? Having heard what she intends to say, I feel she should be granted her request. In the end, it should save everyone a lot of time and trouble. Oh no. What exactly does she have to say? What's this about? What's this all about, defendant? I'd just like to make one simple request, and I'll be finished. Well then, what's your request? Your Honor, I'd like you to put an immediate end to this trial. Huh? I confess to all charges against me. On February 21st of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman in the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. No, Lana! Lana, what the hell? What does she have behind her back? You can't! Your Honor, the defendant's claim does not change the defense's plea. In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your services. But Lana! Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. The prosecution may lack direct evidence against me, but it has sufficiently proven its case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. I would like you to render your verdict now, if you please. Well, the defendant certainly has the right to self-representation. Her request is legally valid, although this is an unprecedented situation. Indeed, it appears there's no further need to continue this trial, even if Mr. Wright may feel otherwise. This can't be happening. It appears the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant... Well, I guess this is going to be a very short stream.
Objection!
Thank you, Edgeworth. One moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution has not yet proven the defendant guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Any ruling at this stage would certainly be premature. Come now, Worthy. I understand this is a difficult time for you, but why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut? Tisk tisk. I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Gent. What? Creating another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes. Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you would have me be. With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes. Some kind of deal, Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy. I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness. Oh, to whom? As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Skye. I request the court hear her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, I am exercising my right to self-representation. I don't think we need to continue. I don't care what you think, Miss Skye. The exposure of truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it. Very well, the court shall grant the prosecution's request. That's okay with you, right, Chief Gent? Worthy, you'll live to regret this. Mark my words. Miss Emma Skye, please take the stand. Looks like Edgeworth has decided to take this horse by the reins. Emma. Oh. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. My name is Emma. Emma Skye. My occupation? I'm Lana's little sister, and I want to be a scientific investigator. Oh, you encountered the serial killer Joe Dock of the Joe Dock killings. Is this correct? Yes. I'm trying my hardest to forget about that, though. I'm sorry. But... I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to recall those events one more time. Mr. Edgeworth, please remember this trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. Is an incident that was resolved 2 years ago really all that relevant? Yes, it most certainly is. Well, okay then! Yeah, you sure gave in fast. Now, please testify about what happened to you 2 years ago. The trip to yesteryear has finally begun. It's bound to lead to the truth behind this trial. Alright. Let's see. I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me, but I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. It's a good thing you weren't harmed. I passed out. I don't remember much. That's understandable. However, please tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, what does this testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's murder? That will soon become apparent, Your Honor. You've got to admire him for his courage, considering he has no evidence. Well, he does have one piece of evidence. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. Alright. For what reason? 2 years ago, the defendant was a detective at the police department, correct? Yes, she was second in command under then Deputy Chief of Police Gant. My sister. She was the best detective ever. Yes, I remember. Deputy Chief Gant and Miss Skye used to be quite the pair. I believe they shared the same office. That's right. I'd always sit at my sister's desk and dream about playing that organ. I wanted to play it that day, too. The police department and the prosecutor's office held a ceremony that day. Lana promised to take me to dinner after she finished her work. A man? Yes, Joe Dark. He was a serial killer. Joe Dark was brought in for questioning on the day of that ceremony. We were desperate to get anything on him that would lead to an arrest. When he saw his chance, he fled the room, right? Upon fleeing the room, Dark proceeded to take the elevator. He must have been in a panic because the elevator was going up. Then, he ran into Sky and Grant's office. There was a lot of noise coming from outside, so I opened up the door to have a look. That's when I saw him. Neil Marshall rescued me. What was the prosecutor doing there? That day, there were two people present during Dark's questioning. Deputy Damon Gent and Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Almost forgot about Gent. Neil Marshall had just received the King of Prosecutors Award. Young and dedicated, he went straight to the questioning room after the ceremony. I assumed that he would also be why he was the first to run after Dark. When Dark grabbed me, I thought I was as good as dead. And that's when Prosecutor Marshall came running in. I don't remember what happened then, but... Can you tell us about that? Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark, just then the lights went out. Lights? It was just about this time of year. There was a terrible storm going on and lightning struck nearby, so the electricity went out. Wait a minute. If it was pitch dark in that room, you shouldn't have been able to see anything, right? Right, but just then lightning flashed again outside. That sudden flash left an unforgettable image on the scene in my mind. I see. I told the detective about what I saw then. The detective? Yes, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case. Detective Bruce Goodman, the victim. So you spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago? Yes, that's what's so scary about this trial. And you told Detective Goodman about what you saw? Yes, but at the time the words just wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture. A picture? Yes, I think she mentioned that before. Mr. Wright, have you had enough? This picture the witness drew, I believe it has a very important meaning. But the list of evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture. Witness, would you mind if we added this statement to your testimony? Yes, Your Honor. I drew a picture of that scene once, but it seems to have been lost. Well... Objection! Mr. Edgeworth, this little girl put all her heart into drawing that picture. And yet, you would insist on denying its existence? Huh? Hey, I'm not the bad guy. All I'm saying is that, as the prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handed such a picture. That may well be, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Behold, this is the evidence list for the SL9 incident. Please turn it over, Your Honor. Turn it over? Turn it... Ah! What's this? Yes. What is that? Hey! That's it! That's the picture I drew! Indeed, two men appear to be wrestling here. What's the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list? Me? Only the prosecutor in charge should have access to that list. Huh? These lists... They're different from each other. What? It would appear, Mr. Edgeworth, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. These two lists fit together to form one. You can see the marks here from where they were torn apart from each other. That's interesting. So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, it's quite obvious what happened. 2 years ago, only half of the evidence in that case ever reached you. What? What? Order, order! But Miss Sky, why did you draw your picture on the back of such an important list? Because that's what Detective Goodman handed me in the questioning room, Your Honor. Wait a minute. If this list was torn in half, then that means... Your Honor? Are you alright, Mr. Wright? Your eyes are bulging from your head. If the evidence list was torn in half, then there might be more of the drawing on the back of Mr. Edgeworth's list. Yes, that's quite conceivable, Mr. Edgeworth. It's possible. Let's see. Is something wrong? Do you even have to ask? Show it to us. Sorry, Your Honor. There is indeed something drawn on the back of my list. It's that thing. That's that thing. That thing that was dancing in the evidence room. Clearly, this act of vandalism is the work of a certain chief of detectives. I guess he was out of scrap paper. Well, very well. Witness, let me examine this. Alright. Will you please testify about this picture you drew 2 years ago? Uh-huh. Oh, yes, sir, Your Honor. What's wrong with Emma? She seemed to be thinking about something when she was looking at the picture. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright all I could see were shadows. After that I must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. To think a flash of lightning could burn such an image in your mind. Thanks to that, though, she was able to show us exactly what she saw. Well, I don't see any contradictions here. This clearly shows Joe Dark about to murder prosecutor Neil Marshall. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. Flash of lightning so bright all I could see were shadows. After that I must have fainted. You mean you didn't see the actual murder take place? No, I'm sorry. The flash of lightning only drove off the darkness for a split second. Not only that, but the trauma of the situation understandably caused the witness to faint. Do you really need to torture this girl any further? What? Hey, I'm not the bad guy here. Anyway, this picture... Okay. Sorry for asking so many times, but are you sure you drew exactly what you saw? Of course, this is the exact scene. It wasn't influenced in any way from your talks with the detectives. Are you insinuating we somehow manipulated her memory, Mr. Wright? No, of course not. I'd better watch out or I might find some way to cut my salary. I drew this picture before I heard anything from the detectives, so I don't think anyone's story would have influenced me. Mr. Wright, is there something that's bothering you about this picture? Huh? Oh, well... That's strange. She claims this is exactly the scene that was imprinted in her mind, and yet... There's clearly a contradiction here. Picture I drew 2 years ago. 1 second. Let me check the... Stabbed in the back, died from a puncture in I think an autopsy report. Yeah! I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction. What? But I still remember it like it was yesterday! Mr. Wright, perhaps it will be faster if you simply pointed out this contradiction for us. What part of this picture contradicts the autopsy report? Take that! Yes? I think it's, this part here? I don't seem so strange about that. That's because the drawing stinks! Mr. Wright, how could you? The act of making an innocent girl cry should warrant the death penalty. I guess he means I shouldn't shift the blame to others. Yes, well, so long as the defense has learned his lesson. Better take another look at that autopsy report in this picture. Perhaps it would be faster if you simply pointed at the... it's probably this. There we go. The contradiction, of course, lies here. Take a look at the knife the man is holding. If you look closely, you can see its tip is broken. Even I don't have to look closely to see that, Mr. Wright. But Mr. Wright, look at the evidence! See the murder weapon? Its tip is broken too! If I recall, the tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body. It was a conclusive piece of evidence that proved Joe Dark was the murderer. I'm afraid it's not so simple, Emma. And where, pray tell, could you possibly see a problem? It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. If the victim was only stabbed once, then the murder weapon should not yet be broken. Ah! What's the meaning of this? Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand. Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, it couldn't possibly wind up there. That's right. But what does this mean? The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is that the witness's memory is mistaken. That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure she remembered correctly. I believe you were annoyed at the time, but she was sure she remembered correctly. But there's no other way to explain this inconsistency. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. There is another explanation. Have you forgotten already? About a little something called falsified evidence? No treading on thin ice, Wright. All I'm saying is that this broken knife tip might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility. No. Ah! Order! 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 Are you saying the investigation really was corrupted? Your Honor, please allow me to once again go over the events that took place the day of the murder. The police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day. After receiving the King of Prosecutors' award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark along with David Gant. During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Dark. It is my belief that somewhere in this story there is a lie. I'm not lying. The man really was holding up a broken knife. If that's true, then there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. There must have been another broken knife. What are the chances there of being two broken knives? Another broken knife besides Joe Dark's. Could there have been one? There is another one. If the witness is this adamant about the accuracy of what she saw, it can't just be explained away by a simple observational error. Mr. Wright! In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife. As I assume, then, that you have some information about this other broken knife? If so, please feel free to enlighten us. The murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder. There's only one way. Take a look at this. Here's the real murder weapon. I'm supposed to present the picture, I believe. The answer lies in the past. 2 years in the past. Right here inside this picture. This is a picture of the awards ceremony. Ah! What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's the broken murder weapon. Notice the award Prosecutor Marshall is holding. That's a broken knife! As we earlier concluded, the knife in the drawing was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was in all likelihood from this award. Order! 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 Neil Marshall was awarded King of Prosecutors that day. As an award, he was given this broken shield and knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife. Being a prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. This broken knife was the only weapon he had in this dangerous situation. But that can't be! Oh, and why not, Mr. Edgeworth? Because if the King of Prosecutors' award knife was the murder weapon, then the murderer and the victim would be reversed. What do you mean? I mean, this man raising a knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh. Oh! Not great! prosecutor was the one who actually died. That's true. What's going on here? It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions. Hold it! Wait! I remember now! I remember everything! Witness? Mr. Edgeworth. What is it? Could you show me your evidence list again, please? His list? This one with that picture scribbled on the back? I knew it. This picture. I'm the one who drew it. What? You drew that? That's right. The list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. All this time I've been trying so hard to forget. I must have locked this part away deep inside me. Perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness's testimony. Would you please tell us what you recalled, Miss Skye? Yes, Your Honor. First the knife mix-up and now the blue badger? This should be interesting. This is going a lot faster than I expected it to. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed toward both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow. Knocked away the man with the knife. This is certainly most unusual.
Objection!
Try impossible. The chief of detectives hadn't even designed him until this year. That would mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago. Yes, well, the defense may now cross-examination... stop, please! Don't pursue this any further! Lana, what's the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair. But you can't do this! I've already confessed to the crime! Why can't you just leave it at that? Chief Prosecutor Skye. We've already come this far. It's too late to turn back. Sure is. Silence. The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendant. It seems we're finally getting to the core of the matter. Alright, Emma, let's see what the fuck you're talking about. I saw that man raise his knife. I panicked and rushed toward him. What do you mean you think? It all happened so fast and I was in shock. I don't remember everything clearly. What I did, it's all kind of a blur. Miss Skye was almost killed before she was witness to a murder about to take place. With so much happening in a matter of seconds, a little disorientation is only natural. I saw the man about to stab the other person who I thought was Mr. Marshall. I knew I had to stop the man with the knife. What you did was very brave, young girl. So then what happened next? Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. Are you sure about this? Of course. See? I even drew a picture of him here. But it was the chief of detectives who thought up this hideous beast. And that was just this year. The blue badger didn't exist 2 years ago. It's still quite verifiable. I know it sounds strange. I was surprised too when I saw him at the police department. I had this nagging feeling that I'd seen him somewhere before. Now I finally remember. Oh, brother, just when you thought that thing had caused enough commotion. Tell us, where in the room did you see him dancing? He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow. Okay. His shadow? So you mean you didn't actually see his face with its winning smile and all? That's right, but I still remember it. He had 3 creepy horns. This is pointless. That thing couldn't possibly have existed 2 years ago. The witness must be mistaken. That may well be. But what's important is what caused her to think she saw what she did. Yeah, she thought she saw him. Oh, and I suppose you have an explanation. If by all means. If so, by all means, tell us what this shadow really was. What was it Emma saw when that lightning flashed? Who is this blue badger really? I just might know. The blue badger hadn't even been dreamt up when Emma drew this picture, yet she's certain she saw its shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the defense's belief that on that fateful day 2 years ago, there indeed was something that looks similar to the blue badger. Something that is now sitting in this very room. Mr. Wright! In this room? Very well, Mr. Wright. What is it that the witness saw in that instant? Please show us this mysterious blue badger look-alike. Where's the jar? Boosh! The mysterious blue badger was in fact this. But that's... what exactly is that? I believe it's some sort of jar. But Mr. Wright, that doesn't look anything like the blue badger. Indeed it doesn't. As it stands now, it's just a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint? Our viewpoint? I've got to show them the correct angle to look at this from. This isn't right. I've got to make it look more like the badger.
Objection!
Allow me to remind the defense its case hinges on the witness's drawing. If Mr. Wright can't match the shape the witness drew, we cannot accept his claim. I've got to find just the right angle. Maybe I should rotate it vertically a bit more, or horizontally. I've got to show them the correct angle to look at this from. This isn't right.
Objection!
Oh, I think I know exactly what it is. This is frustrating. Right.
Objection!
Let me look it up. 1 second. Blue badger face. I thought I did that. Well, is this a miracle or what? No one can possibly deny this. No one can possibly deny this jar's resemblance to the blue badger. That was dumb. No, it can't be! Get that awful music out of my ears! Order! Order! The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious blue badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this. Although we all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point? What do you mean? So the badger thing was actually just a jar. That doesn't change anything. I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything. Indeed? Very well then, please tell us, what's different now that we know the witness saw the jar? The location? I'll just say the location. Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. At a very specific angle, I might add, Mr. Wright. Yes, well, knowing this, where could she have seen this jar? Where? The location of the jar is shown in a picture taken on the day of the crime. It's on a shelf in the office of Damon Gant. But the body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. True. The witness testified so that... Yes, and it is these two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room, in Chief Gant's office. Are you implying the murderer moved the victim's body from Damon Gant's office to Lana Sky's office? Yes. Why would he do that? There's no reason. Exactly. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason. Do you know what reason that was, Mr. Wright? I finally figured it out. So this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying? That would have to have been the impact the man made when he was knocked into the wall? Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. Oh. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, what would he have hit? The suit of armor, holding a very sharp and dangerous-looking sword. Yes. And since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to have been Neil Marshall, holding the King of Prosecutors trophy. No. Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking. Yes. There is another possibility of what actually transpired in that room. Another possibility? Of course the perpetrator would have had no idea, but nevertheless... I don't know if I can go through with this. Mr. Wright, what's the matter? If events took place as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Skye knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall. 3 frames of animation. They spent all their budget on the prosecutors, whatever. You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me? No! Emma! I never imagined her testimony would lead to this. So was the witness who took the victim's knife, and then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented. Indeed. Objection! What are you saying? I'm sorry, Miss Skye, but given the circumstances, Joe Dark murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin the crime on her? Imagine that coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out about what Emma did, wasn't it? I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall? Evidence? Oh, I'm willing to bet you don't. Yes, it certainly would be difficult to prove with evidence. If we don't have evidence, then we'll have to rely on testimony. I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead. We certainly can't get dead people to testify. This has all been a wild goose chase from the beginning. I mean, you're friends with a spirit medium, so... I mean, given what happened to her mom, though... Touché, Miss Sky. Of course. That only leaves us with one possibility. You mean there's still another possibility? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. For better or for worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life, in one manner or another. That's impossible. Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility left to you. A message from the deceased. Does such a message exist? I've got to think back to the court record. The real murderer's name that the victim may have left behind is in the evidence. This message from the deceased is already in our possession. Mr. Wright! Will you stop at nothing to prove my sister a murderer? Tisk tisk. Do not be mistaken, Miss Sky. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There is only one thing we seek. The truth. No matter how painful it may be. Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys a message from the deceased.
Take that!
Oh no. This is the message left by the deceased. This is that blue badger from before, right? Oh, is he going to just speak the killer's name? If that thing could, I'm sure it would. Looks like everyone's forgotten this is just a jar. A message was left here, on the surface of this jar. What do you mean? If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on this jar. It looks like someone wiped the blood away. Yes, but notice, for some reason, the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away. Yes, there is a line here, drawn in blood. So what you're saying is these dots were once lines. Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used the few precious moments left to him to leave behind a message. One that someone apparently wiped away. But blood must have seeped into the jar where the lines changed directions. Precisely so. All we need to do is connect these points, and the victim's message will become apparent. No. Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us? Your Honor, I believe these bloodstains will reveal to us the answer. I've gotta connect these dots to make letters. There's only one thing the victim would have written given the circumstances. His murderer's name. Great. I can already see where this is going. This would have been a lot better on the on the DS. It's a defense attorney's duty to prove their client's innocence. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. I like to imagine he has a red pen that he just hastily scrawled on the evidence with. Emma. So this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. Oof. Of all people, she may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Emma Sky. Oh, it's her bandit trait. I forgot about that. Seaworthy? Can't say I didn't warn you. Chief Gant. Do you understand the implications of what you've done? What? What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in the case, were you not? Ah! Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction.
Objection!
But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer. That's undeniable. I'm afraid that's not important. Didn't you know? We aren't offenders of justice. What? We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter. Even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery, ultimately the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied. Rabble, rabble, rabble. What's going on at the prosecutor's office? He might have sentenced an innocent man to death. How can he just stand there like it wasn't his fault? Order, 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 order! Gant, what the hell, man? The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. Hopefully toward Gant's conviction, 'cause obviously he's the big bad. Yeah, I gotta keep going. There's no way I can't. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. You are. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. No, Gumshoe, wait! Wait, Detective Gumshoe! What is it? This is the second time this has happened in a trial. In this trial, you've got a lot of nerve, pal. Making the detective run all around while on duty, and to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. I take it Lana's having you run errands again. Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give this to you if there was a break in today's trial. Evidence law. Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day. You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. You can at least study some evidence law, really. The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message? She said if you're planning to take him on, you're going to need this book. Him. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. Explains the 2 rules of evidence law. Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though. You would be surprised. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat, despite all these allegations being thrown at me. Mr. Edgeworth, the real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you are unaware of. Emma Skye found out she's unwittingly caused a man's death, and now you're telling me you want to do more? You gotta be kidding me, pal! You're missing the point, detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? And we're going to expose him. No matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor? The Inquiry Committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thanks for the news, Your Honor. Yes, well... Normally, this is where a prosecution calls for the witness, but, this isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have, struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witnesses? I didn't say that! It's just, you see, everyone has been talking, and Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. A solution? That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses. Ooh. What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Congratulations, you're now married. Then it's settled. The defense may now call forth the next witness. Mr. Wright. You do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over. The defense calls... The time has finally come to bring out the real murderer. Don't even need to move.
Take that!
Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to be manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? In fact, it might have been the other way around. True. All right. Bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. So, you want to play hardball, huh? Please, Mr. Gant. Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto, what's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh? Like what? Like the role you played in all of this. Son, either you're very brave, or very foolish. You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Sure, take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true? I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Don't worry. Not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony. Okay. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. The power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Okay, how did you know that the crime scene... Is that when Doc was arrested? Him? He was lying on the floor unconscious. That's so silly. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Doc bumped into him. I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut. If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I'd better hit him hard and fast. Curveball! Alright. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. Just to confirm, you were questioning Joe Dark. As I recall, a ceremony was held at the police department that day. Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. After winning his award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what Spook Dark made him run away like that. Was the defendant Lana Sky also present in the room? I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran for it. Alright. Story short, we slipped up. Okay. So the two of you ran immediately after him, right? That's right, but Dark made it to the elevator first, so Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. Guess you could say he got lucky. What's this about a power outage? Oh, that. The elevator stopped all of a sudden, and I got the shock of my life. Oh, probably not as shocked as Neil was when that knife went into his heart, though. That's not funny. Okay. Why would you go downstairs, though? Could you tell us what you saw? It was a shocking sight. Neil and that serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together. Dork was also lying collapsed on the floor. Yes, apparently he and his dad was knocked out. Next to them were those two poor girls, Lana and Emma. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. How do you know about that? How can you know that? Because of the victim's body, it had already been moved. So that means... you found the body near Lana's desk. That's right. I think you said it earlier. It was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor? Yes. Anyway. Well... so you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office? That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt, but moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable no matter what the circumstances. Is that how it really went down? Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. If you're going to stare at anything, you'd be better off staring at the court record. Worthy, always a smooth talker. But which piece of evidence ties Gant to the forgery? Lana did admit to forging evidence, but that can't be the whole truth. Somehow I've got to link Gant to the incident. Oh, don't tell me. Okay, let's see. But... I'm fairly certain it's this, but... yeah! If you really had nothing to do with the forgery, then how do you explain this? What's that? And what's on it? A handprint? Chief Gant, your explanation, please. I don't know, you tell me, son. Huh? My dear Righto. Don't you know the second rule of evidence law? Oh, not this again. Evidence law. Rule number 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Tell me, how is that rag relevant to this trial? It appears the defense was not prepared. I guess it's too early to use this piece of evidence. Please accept my profound apologies, Chief. Would you mind giving the defense another chance? Well, okay, I'll do it just this once, but only because you asked, Doji. Thank you. I assure you the defense is terribly sorry. Yeah. Sorry I didn't nail you. Oh, no penalty. You and I were questioning him that day. Make a long story short. Well, you had nothing to do with the forgery, huh? One second. Well, so you're saying, yeah, okay. I gotta choose some already registered evidence. So, I guess it's... No, the jar is too... We've already done the jar like 3 times, so,
Objection!
You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this list, for example. That's the list Emma Sky drew her picture on. This was discovered in your desk. Not only that, but a piece of this jar that was sitting in your office was found inside your safe. It was found where? You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation. Chief Gant, what's the meaning of this? Oh, here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery. Who, me? What do you mean, you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know? Defense attorneys can do so too. Apologists. Isn't that right, Wright? However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy. Not even the detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. What? If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work. Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. My! Kids these days no longer know how to put 2 and 2 together. Alright. Evidence and forgery. Let's see, what was it now? A jar fragment and a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. They were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? When investigating the crime scene... You should have been more careful to observe protocol. You do understand I am the chief of police, right? There will be consequences. Oh, indeed I believe I will press charges, so you don't make the same mistake again. My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know. Alright, Oji, your return, though. I know. That place, right? Huh? What are these guys, telepathic? What are these guys, telepathic? I think they were planning to go out to eat, or something. Alright, let's see here. You sure about that? Okay. Really, Chief Gant. At the very least, there is one very large benefit you've reaped from all this. Oh? I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would of course be the position you have. Chief of Police. Oh. The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive. Oh, that's a good one. Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 really sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth? Yes. He was going to be made chief anyway. Gah! Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at. So that means... There's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people to look out for. Me, myself, and I. There, it's out in the open now. Haji, would you mind if I change my testimony a little? By all means, please do. I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. Sure about that? What do you mean by that? nothing in it for you. Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you better think again. You're right, you don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people, that's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out? Yeah. True, you might not help out anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone. Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand. That's not what I mean. Very well then, who is this person you believe Chief Gent may have helped forge evidence?
Take that!
Lana Skye, obviously. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye, the defendant? I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gent, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit. Self-profit? What do you mean? After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Skye was appointed Chief Prosecutor at the Prosecutor's Office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gent. But how would he profit from all of this? He would be able to use the Chief Prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. Do you mean to tell me that despite the Chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Oh, wait. You must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind. Judge, admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Skye in forging evidence. Your motive? To appoint her as Chief Prosecutor so you could control her. Righto, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? What? Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I'd done such a thing? She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant. I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture. Unless, that is also what happened in this incident. This incident? Which one would that be? Of course I'm talking about the murderer Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial, almost as if someone has been controlling her. Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. Just what do you mean? What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gent is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement. What? Yeah. Duh. Order! 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 I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious. Huh? This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in a law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder, that's impossible! Okay, Judge. Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier-to-understand language. It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now. It looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this. Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder? Good question. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gent is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. I see. Alright then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got. And it better be good. Show us this evidence that ties Chief Gent to the murder of Detective Goodman. Do I do this one now? Let's see. Oh, right, I forgot about that. Second. Where is it?
Take that!
This is the ID card list. Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 7777777. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number. What? How do you know that? The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code. 7 digits? You don't mean... I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 7777777. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. Order! Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say? Nothing. The defense's search in my office was in violation of regulations, and I will demand Mr. Wright to be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card. Chief Gant, so you admit it. Hi!
Sorry.
Your bro, your guy,
The apartment.
is just about...
I'm back in the apartment. Sorry.
Alright.
Sorry about
Hey! Your guy is just about to finish testifying. Do you want to take him over?
Sure.
On the day of the crime?
Well, about that, I'm chief of police. Whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom. What's the difference? I can go anywhere I want.
I'm sorry, but that insinuates something. I'm not... tell me, when we went to the room, were you alone?
I always go to the bathroom alone. As I do with the evidence.
I don't know. Detective Goodman wouldn't happen to be with you that day, would he?
Of course not. Why would he? Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days.
You hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gant. I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt. No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gantz met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting? Stabby stab. In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime. Let's see here.
See, I have no idea. Have we done anything with the jar?
Yeah, we have. We've proven that the jar was, Actually, let me show you the most ridiculous evidence in this entire trial. So it turns out, the evidence list had 2 drawings, and one of them looked like the blue badger, which was actually the jar that was in Chief Gant's office, which had the name Emma written on it in blood for whatever reason. I don't know why. Bullshit. Emma's shitty drawing indicted her. And also, Neil was stabbed by the knife visible on the bottom right here for the suit of armor. I know it's dumb as hell.
That's a very visible knife.
That is a very visible knife indeed. Anyway, I think I'm supposed to present the lost item report here. Can only be submitted to the Chief of Police.
Take that!
Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So Detective Goodman filed a lost item report. He would have had to give that report to the Chief of Police.
Yet you are in possession of the report. Which means you can't be sure if he filed it.
He filed it. How do I know, you ask? because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence in it. Oh. Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room.
I accompanied him?
There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room.
Hold on, let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the chief of police, murdered poor Goodman.
That's as good a confession as any. Exactly. But wait! The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card.
Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something.
Something of the sort. Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your
Explanation point?
He's like, According to the record, your card was only used once, yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body.
No!
That's impressive.
Yo, I wish I could look like lightning when I scream no.
Struck by lightning, baby! Chief Gant, you didn't! The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective... You got rid of the body! You're forgetting, Mr. Wright.
Body's in my mind.
Yeah. That the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was up. That's you.
I just have a quick question.
Yeah?
So is Edward helping White? Or what's... Or Wright?
Yeah. At this point, they're in
I thought-
cahoots to take down Gant.
Ah, okay.
And
I was at the police department the entire day, you know?
And I just noticed that his hair looks like lightning. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the
True.
prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal.
Oh, so you think I could just order an officer to do it? Hey, you, take this here dead body over to the prosecutor office, whatever, blah, blah.
I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time I thought it was just a useless clue just taking up space. How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence. To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this. I don't know what it is.
A little robot boy?
No. Oh. Oh, wait!
Something that must have been useless.
Yeah. Hey, so, remember this screwdriver?
Sort of. Yeah.
This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body. What's that? A screwdriver? But what does that have to do with this case? Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is this screwdriver doing here? It's here because... I was asked to go, by Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office. But you did. Because Chief Gant asked you to. You mean, The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Yes, unless of course you have another explanation, Chief.
What?
Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. To transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye. That is... Order! 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 What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations? Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at... the prosecutor's office. Let's see here...
I'm thinking back. Don't remember squat.
It's fine, don't worry about it. They'll show you anyway. This was a not a this was
she looks
a
like a
not
bloody mess.
this was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It is a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gant, please say something.
I believe... fuck, it's hard to bullshit. Your time's up.
Yeah, bullshit. My time's up?
Sorry, righto, but I'm having lunch with the district attorney general after this.
We have to
We
make
have
it.
to get going.
Yeah, but the cross-examination isn't finished yet.
Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Now I'm gonna play with my hair a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now.
That's bullshit! What? That is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. So you're going to just run away after all this?
Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman, that's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now.
Well,
You think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with.
I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright, Your Honor, do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Sky dispose of his body? Do I have any concrete proof? Well, yeah.
I don't know, but there's some concrete outside.
Can't let him squirm his way out of this one. Ah, shit. I've got to keep the pressure on. Yes, Your Honor, I do have such evidence. Then please hurry up and present it. I'll just do this for kicks, because I said it wrong. My attorney's badge! So, what exactly is this evidence? It's proof. As to whether or not it's enough to demonstrate the chief's guilt, I'll let you be the judge. But I am the judge! Alright, well, what do you think, Your Honor? What I think, Mr. Wright, is I'm going to be late for lunch. I guess it wasn't enough. Please, Your Honor, give me just a little longer to consider. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations, yada yada. I don't have concrete proof right now, but I will eventually! It's no use showing evidence I'm not even sure of myself. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence.
Huh. See? CLG?
In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief. What?
Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, righto? It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, LG, I'll leave the rest to you. I'm gonna go have myself a big whopper.
Wait, no! Get back here! I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency. Whoa! Thank you, Edgeworth. Lady Luck. Maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony. A lady who knows the truth. Another witness. In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method is testimony. But Chief Gant has invoked... Yeah, he can't... He's not testifying. There's still someone else. No, we already, questioned her. We already had her testify about what she saw, the night of Neil Marshall's murder. Someone in this very room. It is obviously... I'll have the defense presented. Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today. Because Edgeworth, is like, oh, if you can't trust me with, witnesses, I will just hand the responsibility over to the defense. Does such a witness exist? She would not be willing to tell the truth.
I just would like to hear Edward say, "You, Judge, get over here. You're our witness." What?
I would love that, but then there wouldn't be a judge, so we can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth...
Take that!
Wait, no, wrong person! I thought we were walking the same path together, Mr. Wright. It seems you got lost somewhere along the way. You better find your way, my man. Yeah,
It happens
there's
to the best of us.
misclick. Now that I think about it, there's only one possible person. She may not be willing to tell the truth, but we need Lana Skye. The defendant, Miss Lana Skye? She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 on February 21st. Her task to dispose of the victim's body, in accordance with a certain someone's orders. Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor. Very well, the court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the conclusion of the testimony. This court knows... Hold on! Huh? Oh, that's you.
Hold on.
Chief Gant, I thought you were going to eat!
Listen, I eat food fast. Listen good, Lana.
He's talking to Lana.
Oh, my bad. There will be terrible consequences.
Basically, if you testify...
That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder.
This isn't good.
Of course you'd never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. Alright then. I've got lunch date to meet.
Okay, get the fuck out of here. We want Lana.
Wait, I have a date? Let's go! I have a date!
With the district attorney. Whatever. Okay, if there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess.
Who's the attorney again?
The attorney of this trial, the defense attorney is us, Phoenix Wright, but I don't know who, like, the head defense attorney is. Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth.
Oh, this guy!
Yeah, Gumshoe's back!
Okay, hold on. Let me get back to my New Yorker if I remember correctly. That Chief! That Chief, he's something else, ain't he, pal?
Detective Gumshoe!
I'm not a detective anymore.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, don't worry. I've already decided to work where to work now. At your office.
My office?
Sure. I'll take that place of your top-knotted girl and you used to work with.
Could he mean... Maya?
Oh, she's lovely.
Yeah,
Still,
annoying
looks
though.
like we're all out of the mood now. Oh, is she?
A little. Some people like her,
Chief
some
Gant's
people
done
despise her.
it again.
You know how it is with girls in video games.
Yeah, sometimes. Chief Gant doesn't done it again. How is it he always gets the upper hand?
It's not fair he has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said? But Chief, that is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. Risks?
Oh, so we learn what the law is, and we...
What did he
That'd
mean
be
by
good
that?
for us to know.
It's simple. This is based on the Japanese court system, though, not the American court system.
Oh.
Because Shu Takumi was like, hey, the court system is shit, and I want to make a parody of it. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. You mean he forfeits his right to say anything, too? Hi, Emma!
Yo, best bitch, let's go!
Emma! Are you okay? Yeah. When I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery. So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved. Relieved? Yeah.
Did we shit on her? What happened?
Basically, she was, she accidentally killed Neil Marshall by pushing him away into that suit of armor's knife.
I mean, accidents happen, man. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
accidents
what
happen.
else?
And then Lana redid the crime scene, so it looked like Neil Marshall was stabbed by Joe Dark, so she moved her So she moved them to the other side of the room on her office side instead of Gant's office side. Yeah.
Huh.
Now I finally know what really happened. To think that all this time my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man, and she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her.
There we go.
Gumshoe said, what do you mean?
Oh, what do you... Hey, what do you mean?
What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside. To force herself to do anything and everything the Chief told her to do. That must be why she became so cold. It was all my fault. Emma's theme should not be playing during this sequence. It's too cheery. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall. Hey, that's you.
Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal.
That's so real. Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. I see.
Was it self-defense? I mean, that's a different... Oh, wait, but different law.
No, I think she was... I don't know. We also proved that,
Well, we... Yeah.
We also proved that he was holding the, sword from the, King of Prosecutors thing instead of an actual knife.
I see. Well, we better get back. It's time for the final act.
Emma, why don't you wait here? No! I'm going with you! I want to be there.
Strong, independent woman, let's go!
When Lana tells the truth. Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this. She is 15. Where is she?
Still, strong, independent woman, let's go!
Oh, she's 16.
Oh.
I was thinking about Trucy.
Okay.
Anyway, let's finish this trial, shall we?
Did you tell me Emma's the older sister?
No, Lana's the older sister. Emma's the younger sister.
Okay, yeah, okay. Got it.
Let's do this. Time to prove Lana's innocence once and for all. Because that really is what the trial is about, despite us dragging up the SL9 incident. Look at Emma. She's so cute just standing there. Now then,
Let's go, Emma!
will the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, please take the stand? Miss Lana Sky, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Sky. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. You know, like 90% of the witnesses don't tell the truth. And yet, they hardly ever get dinged for perjury. Of course, the truth.
Fair.
Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Aw. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant. Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. Let's have him get got by, Lana's testimony. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. Is she really that strong? When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Are you sure about this testimony? Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lana! If this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. But what if she's telling the truth? She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Yeah. This is no time to start second-guessing myself. I think I know exactly what to present where. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Thank you, Judge. Let's do this. Alright. Are you sure about that?
Objection!
No? Yeah, clearly faulty. I'm sorry, but I can see nothing faulty. Well...
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Give me 1 second.
Alright.
Just calling you.
must be on the wrong track. Okay, so... You rearranged the crime scene. You say you did this all by yourself. Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's the only situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement. You mean, Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Doc? Something like that. If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Doc was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. Uh-huh. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. All just to protect me. So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. Yes. Okay. Broke off the tip of Dark's knife, planted it inside the wound, and moved the body. Okay.
I am sorry.
No, it's fine. Okay. Why did you... What the hell? Okay. You planted the tip of Dark's knife in the victim's wound? And then you moved the body? But why? Why would you do that? You, of all people, should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of others. Why did you move the body? Okay. When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it was. By Chief Gant's desk. But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? The reason for that is simple. Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Skye moved the body. The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. How? Pieces of the jar, you mean? Yes. That wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body. So, when you first found the body, the jar was already... Of course. It had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what had happened. Neil Marshall was dead, and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle. I see. What's the matter, Emma? Apparently the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed, but I have a feeling there is more to it than that. There must be a contradiction here somewhere. Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone. Are you sure about that? Well, the jar, if it was shattered, it couldn't have been written on, right? Miss Skye, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered? If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony. Contradiction in my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan." That's right. Do you have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar.
Nani?
Nani the fuck? Order, order! Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well, the witness will now continue her testimony. Alright. Message written in blood. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. Hang on, 1 second. I forgot to examine the reverse side of this. No, nothing. I was hoping there would be blood stains. This is a handprint, right? Yeah, someone left behind an oil stain on the fabric. Whoever it was, they must have had a really oily hand. Mr. Wright, think about it scientifically. Huh? A more likely explanation is the person slipped and fell on a freshly waxed floor, getting wax all over their hand. Well, that would account for this amount of oil, I guess. I don't see what's so scientific about it, though. It happens, you know. I always slip on the floors at school after they're waxed. I mean... You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood? I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Obviously. Jar and message in blood. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. Wait, that doesn't make sense. So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust. Well, that helps my case. Lana, you do that for me? Seems you two might make up yet. Anyway, I just barely... Yeah! I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was. If someone happened upon the scene, you used your chance to erase the evidence.
We're good.
Okay. You must have been in a hurry. I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came. This is rather shocking. Do you have any input?
Hold it!
I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened. What do you mean? If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in that situation? Lana! I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces.
Hold it!
No, you didn't. But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office. The detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. Even I carry my bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go. I never miss anything.
What?
Pocket luminol! It's,
What the heck is it?
it reveals bloodstains, apparently.
Okay then.
I never miss anything. I got every last piece. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. Uh-huh. So... You sure you are absolutely positively sure you got them all, huh, Lana? Well, hate to break it to you, but there's one piece that you didn't quite get.
Objection!
Miss Skye, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe. In the Chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was... still blood on it. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them. Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you. Take that.
Let's go.
But
Let's go.
couldn't
What's
the
he still doing on his lunch break?
Well, couldn't the defendant simply have missed a piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes.
In the game?
No,
Wait.
that's Ace Attorney.
Yeah, he's attorney. My bad.
Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along, could you believe it? Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that. There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he break the jar? The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? No! No! First time I've seen the judge break down.
You sound like a. It seemed like a whiny baby for a moment. It's like, no.
Wait, I'm not the one on trial here! Damon Gant arrived at the scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposefully hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called? Fabrication of evidence. But why would Chief Gant do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Doc, sparing Emma. And therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became the chief's puppet. Ow! No, I did it on my own! Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief!
Stop biting your finger. You're gonna hurt yourself.
She did! I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you
Even
didn't!
more.
It wasn't you, Emma! You didn't kill anyone! Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says! Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client. I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth. Judge? Wait, a minute? What if
The judge is in on
we're
it.
still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap? Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Lana may be right after all. What do you mean, right? So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright? Miss Skye, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Skye, if you will. I can't... There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change
Let
a
it go.
thing.
Let it go. Sorry.
However, there is a possibility that it will, if you tell us the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. Alright, the witness may testify once more for the final time. This really will be the final testimony! Hopefully.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay.
And then Grant comes back.
Yeah. Gant. When I arrived, I found
Gant,
Mr.
oh my lord,
Marshall's
I did
body
say
impaled
Grant.
on that suit of armor sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Unbelievable.
I just heard Dyro yell "fuck." He's trying to work on the internet.
The body was impaled
no.
on the armor sword? You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof.
Oh, she has the fruit.
Whoa.
The fork. The fork.
I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. Wait a second. I didn't even check this. Oh no, wait. I can't do that now. I thought it might be needed. But I don't remember receiving a picture like that. Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright? She really does have faith in you.
Why quote-unquote this picture?
I don't
He
know.
just doesn't believe. You're non-believer.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture. I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana. Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right? I seem to remember getting something from her then. Let's check that evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere. Alright. Oh, now we can examine it.
It's a little duck.
Pio! Oh my god, that's adorable.
He walked by the lemonade stand and he gave to the man running the stand. Sorry.
Wait a second.
Oh wait, is it in the book?
Yeah, it's gotta be. I just don't know how to open it.
Why does it turn orange when you hover over Pio?
As an indicator that you can examine it. Ah, there we go. Oh no. Hey, there's a picture here. Oh. Oh my. This is the actual scene.
Isn't it the brother?
Yeah, that's Neil Marshall. No other detective saw the crime scene like this, because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had rearranged everything. Alright. Mr. Wright! That piece cut out from his vest! Could that be the cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe? What's this? You know this. It's Emma's handprint, so we need to not present it, because we don't want to implicate her! What? But those fingerprints... They're yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we shall be able to flush out the real murderer. Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Cross-examination.
When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on a suit of armor sword. God damn it, Gant!
Hold it. Say words, darn it. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen.
Chief Gant.
What now? You want me to make out as the bad guy too?
You want to make out?
So I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense.
You want to make out with the judge?
Objection!
You know what?
I'm afraid it's too late for that.
What?
You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make formal statements in court. This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. Oh! Oh!
So what? Do you think I'm worried? I mean, you were screaming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't need to make any statements.
What do you mean?
The evidence will do all the talking for me.
I'm actually going to do both here. So I'm going to save here. And save here. So now I have two save files.
Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence.
Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence?
No, I don't, but someone does.
Someone.
So what's your excuse, Wright?
Righto.
Why have you been keeping it?
Keeping
You do
quiet
have
about
something
it.
to show it, right?
Huh.
Something that proves, that
Proof.
proves the evidence that leaves Room for no doubt. Fuck. Well, I can't words.
It's fine. Just say the vague meaning if you can't. That's what I do. Is this true, Mr. Wright?
Yup.
Okay. If I show that piece of evidence now, I'm sure to be made out as the murderer. I do want to try it, just for funsies. And if you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. What do I do now? I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? Okay, here's where I want to save, actually. The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall. Let's try it for funsies. Yes, Your Honor, I do have further evidence. Alright! The time's finally come to show it to him! Those prints have got to be the Chief's! Now then, let's see this conclusive evidence. Yeah.
Take that!
Oh, well.
It's
Gant's gonna take
a
him to
piece
jail.
of leather
Bye-bye.
cloth. Seffi is playing Bloons TD6. Yes, it most
So
likely was
true.
cut from the victim's chest. Near his chest. What's this? There's a big handprint on it. Sure. It's you, sorry.
Surely it must have been left on the cloth by whoever shoved the victim into the soil.
What? Whose fingerprints are on this?
I'm sure Wright has checked, haven't you?
Well, whose are they? They're Miss Skies. Miss Emma Skies. What? They're mine? So I really did do it. See?
Objection!
Do you-
Oh, fuck, my bad.
It's fine. It is conclusive. But this was found in your safe. That means it's possible you forged it. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember any cloth in my safe. What's a safe? I don't know what do you expect me to believe?
Objection!
But, give it up, Mr. Wright. It's over. You shouldn't have presented that. By presenting that evidence, you tied Emma Skye to Neil Marshall's death. No! It appears we have our killer. No!
No, it's the Lincoln Anakin Skywalker. That's it all over
No! This is very funny, so everything hinged on that
Star
point.
Wars all over
In the end,
again.
Lana was found guilty.
She can cry about it.
I need to show you this because... Oh, shit! I forgot that it's just a game over. Well, shit. I thought that was... Dang it. Yeah, no, I
You
can't.
thought that was actually something. Hold on.
Your Honor,
Give me 1 second, I'm in mute.
I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. What? You lie. Chief Gant? You opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show it off? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Right, that's Justice for All, where it's the funny. Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? It looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. Yeah, fuck you, Gant. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Righto. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit to it? Let's see what this testimony is. Alright. I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana. So you really were manipulating her. I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that when she saw the scene, she would ask for me for my aid. So you assisted Miss Skye. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and moved the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Doc convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence. You mean those items in your safe? But why? For insurance, of course. Insurance. I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for, fool? I'm gonna make the least cheat by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces.
Objection!
But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar too? Oh, some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean that
So
piece
true,
of cloth?
Becky. I'm back.
Hi. We're trying to implicate
Come
him
on,
now.
right there. Cup it up. So with our whole internet thing, the whole thing's the reason why it's not working is we got the wrong equipment.
Oh, dang it, that sucks.
On
What
the
are you
good
waiting
news,
for, Mr. Wright?
We called Cup.
Nice. So you admit to it then, Chief Gant, that you were hiding the cloth you cut from the victim's vest in the safe.
Yeah, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all, but it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer.
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present.
Foolish move, Rhino. You should have shown it then, before it was too late.
It's been a long
So
battle.
wait, what happened? What did I miss?
Oh, basically, when we showed the evidence, it was an instant game over because Lana was, you know, convicted. And then, I said, don't show evidence because we don't want to implicate Emma, come on. But the moment of truth has finally
Fair.
arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine. I forget if I show evidence here. Yep. Okay. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall.
Take that!
Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah!
They finally brought it out to the open air.
There's a handprint on this
word.
piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that it be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather, there must have been a strong impact for it to have been left so clearly. You mean, it could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence.
I'm Santa now? You're as slow as uptake as ever, Worthy.
What?
Think about it. Rhino had all the time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be?
You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that? Mr. Wright, do you really know? Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well. I'll tell you. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person to whom...
what changed for it to be okay?
I don't know. Because Gant admitted to it, I guess. Because Gant
fair.
admitted
Okay.
to hiding the evidence. The fingerprints to whom... The person to whom these fingerprints belong is... Emma? Emma Skye? What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why... Why didn't you tell me?
You're my best friend.
Oh!
You're really something, Rhino. And I try to pin the murder on me?
So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. How could you? You monster! Miss Sky, you knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Sky, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet.
But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges if this offense is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer?
Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up.
Oh, and what's that?
Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Sky, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction.
What is this full babbling about?
I'm talking about a contradiction, one that proves who the real killer is. Well, Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth, what could it possibly contradict? Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. There's no blood on the cloth.
What is exactly supposed to be?
This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it.
Oh, crap, you're right.
See where the piece of his vest was cut out? Yes, his shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest was soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs were no doubt punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Oh, but that piece of cloth...
It's clean as a baby.
Wait, there's
Except
no
for the
blood on
handprint.
it! Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time.
No, this is nonsense.
Now then, Chief Gans, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall, when he was shoved aside, he most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been?
Okay.
Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Sky, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armor's sword? Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood, a jar that they then broke on purpose to leave a clue behind, and made Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest? Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer.
No!
You're peeking! It's coming out! It's finally all over.
Lightning before the thunder!
Objection! Oh no, wait, that's you. Look at him, he's so pathetic!
That was close, Rhino. You almost had me. So, but you all have to do better than that. I refute your allegations.
What do you mean you refute his allegations?
You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence.
You dumbass! The second law of evidence rule! The second rule of evidence law! Order, order! What nonsense is this?
Legal evidence cannot be used to convict the suspect. Remember, Lindsay, earlier old Rhino here concealed that piece of cloth.
Don't need to reread this.
Blibbity blue blop, bibbity blue blue.
Hit it. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence.
At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence.
But that's not there!
Oh, did you actually think you could best me in court? It looks like the last on you, sir.
I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person, assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright? Second rule of evidence law, baby! It seems at last. The time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. Mr. Wright, do you admit to it that you purposefully and illegally concealed this piece of cloth? I did not. It technically wasn't relevant at the time I showed it. I admit I refused to present it at one point.
So the evidence is illegal.
No, you dumbass. No, it isn't, Mr. Gant.
What?
It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't. What do you mean you couldn't? There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence.
No, don't listen to this. Don't listen to those lies. He's nothing but a coward. You really believe that?
There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well, let us settle this once and for all. Earlier, you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now. Evidence law, bitch!
What's that thing in your right corner?
This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law.
What's this?
I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more.
What?
You see, it's written right here in this book. Second rule of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself, inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule 2, unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here is the crux of the matter. You see, at the time it was impossible for me to prove its relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident.
What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take a look at this picture, man.
Sorry, but can you recall when that picture was presented? That was shown only a few moments ago.
No.
He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, David Gant. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Yeah, you personally cut the thing out, yeah.
No!
It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the Chief of Police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there's only one person who that could be. Damon Gant. The killer was you.
No. Huh.
This is sure a breakdown.
I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum for 2 years he was snooping around the department trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me.
Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty.
He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Bruce Goodman.
Detective Goodman.
Yeah, that's right.
It's you two.
Oh yeah, if the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you gotta help me. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit.
He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence.
Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden, he decided to speak out.
I'll be Goodman.
What are you talking about, Goodman?
Can you please
Can you
reopen...
please reopen the investigation?
I can be Goodman.
Oh, fine.
Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered.
He opened the evidence locker, and he was talking about the evidence out, he said.
It's not too late. I'm going to hand all this over to Marshall.
Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. Had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never knew.
He'd bring up SL9.
That's when I saw the knife. Yep.
And stabbed Marshall. Goodman, I mean.
I couldn't just pull it out.
Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime.
Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake.
The bloody handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker.
I used to be known as the crime computer, but everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it.
Then you put the body in my car.
I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will.
Leaving the prosecution's car aside, leaving my boyfriend's car aside, how? How could you get Miss Sky involved in all of this? No, seriously, the queerbaiting in this series, especially the localization, is insane.
Really?
Yeah.
Good to know. Well, she had so much to lose, and I didn't have the truth that came out.
So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker.
I felt bad for having to do with it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take.
So you left the jar fragments in the glove.
Yeah. It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay.
Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close inspection. You must have known that.
Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court?
Me?
You despise criminals. I could feel it. You and me, we're the same. Except I got better hair, and one day you'll understand.
Hey, Edward's hair is fine.
Okay, I got a beard and you don't.
Well, that's because I wouldn't look good with one.
You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down.
Once you try to go it alone.
Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Budgie.
What?
Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend.
I'm sorry too, David Gent. I knew you as you used to be, long ago. You were once a fine investigator, an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person.
Those days are gone now, Budgie. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Wright over here, and Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The
melodious sounds of a new beginning. Alright, ship him off to jail. There are two things I want you to understand. Yes? First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years. From the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today. So...
Don't forget to mention karaoke night. That's very important.
It seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered. Of course I sang Caramel Dance, and why wouldn't I? I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. My, what high standards you have. For a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows? A few years from now, you just might make it to the top. Aww! She's smiling!
Oh.
I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright.
Are we
Miss
gonna
Sky.
be the Ace Master?
We're the Ace Attorney now! And you too, Mr. Edgeworth.
Let's go!
You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know now. I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. It was nothing. Liar.
Liar.
I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. Stop it! I only did my job. I can't handle this embarrassing compliment. I'm going to hide them under my desk and pretend to look for my fountain pen now. In light of this case, he does that in the special court sessions. It's very funny.
Don't forget, you dropped your figurines down there too.
He's only got the one and it's in his office. In light of this case, it seems that good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Sky.
You're telling me he doesn't keep a keychain? He could have a keychain on him.
In the anime, he has a Signal Samurai keychain, but that's not in the games, so... Yes, Your Honor.
I have no idea.
You are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as his accomplice. Phoenix and Larry also have some. Also have matching keychains. They're the Signal Samurai squad in the anime. It's very cute. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date. Yes, I understand, Your Honor. Is there something amusing about all of this? Why are you smiling? It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains.
Let's go, free woman, let's go.
Yeah, woo!
I like this guy's beard.
Yeah. Well, this trial has gone on far too long already. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, not guilty, baby! Time for some confetti. Thank you, Detective Gumshoe.
Let's go. There we go. Where's the cake? It better not be a lie like that other game.
That is all. This court is adjourned. You really think the police force has the budget for cake? with all the salary cuts?
This economy?
With all the salary cuts Edgeworth has with him? Come on. At long last.
You're right. What was I thinking?
It's finally over. Emma? Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook. But at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. No, that's not it.
That's what you think.
Just now, after the trial ended. I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright.
More than that, but fair enough.
And you too, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, yes. You know, I did my best too. But Lana didn't say a single word to me.
No. I'm sorry. We're good. I almost dropped my Maui fish hook. It almost fell off the door.
No, that's
We're good. Sorry.
It's fine.
Oh, that's good, Shu. My hope on open that into it. Think anything, pal? Alright, there we go.
Third time this trial.
Oh, no! They got my phone!
No!
I'll come back later.
Wait, Detective Gumshoe! What is it?
Doing this on purpose hurts you. Making a detective run all around while on duty. my mom does this for me anyway. And when
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
out of the house, I'm only kidding.
Oh, are you here because of my sister again?
Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal.
Me?
That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone.
Hi, Lana. Lana!
Yo, let's go. He's not a trapped woman yet.
Should you be doing this?
Should you
She's-
be doing it? Oh, my bad.
She's still under arrest, you know.
Well, I won't tell if you won't.
Emma.
Yo, Gunshoe, a real one.
Yeah, he's the best! Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day, 2 years ago. Huh? It was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. Sis, I asked Gant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake, but now I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. Look at her, she's so cool, though. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. That scarf, though, not well drawn. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you were only doing it for me. No. Huh?
It was only for love.
I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. Sis, I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy. Of course.
Yeah,
You know,
she took her boyfriend day.
sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. Oh, Emma. Emma.
Let's go. Let's go. She's a real sister.
Okay, so the credits are an auto scroll. Oh,
Let's go.
no one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. I'm pretty sure you're gonna have some roles during the credits, so just be prepared. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you asked? Alright. Because in so doing, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it is from there that we can move on toward a brighter future. Aww. At least, that's what I felt watching the two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe,
Me?
thank you both
Me?
for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here.
Yo, a shot of the head. I mean, Edgeworth.
Where was he hiding? I just came to say congratulations. Thank you.
See that flower pot behind them?
Yeah,
I like
probably.
to think right there.
I like to imagine he was like right next to it and we just didn't notice. Or maybe under the couch somehow? Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth.
You know, that thing is funnier.
Right, well, I'll be going now. No, wait, get back here!
I never liked you anyway.
Baka! Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say. I realized today that I can't correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth. Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. Yeah, we're the same. You and me, you're not so different, you and I. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them.
What can I say?
But in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But Edgeworth, who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gent did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor. Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. You said in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with your boyfriend, Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Oh, yeah. What is this, a pop quiz? Come on, Mr. Wright, show him what Lana's talking about. Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. I honestly don't remember. What is it?
Screwdriver? Would that be it? With Edgeworth now?
Let's see here.
We gotta make sure he's no longer a depressed, edgy boy. Or at least no longer depressed.
Oh, right! Edgeworth had the second half of the evidence list. I forgot about that.
Take that!
That's the picture I drew. Our counterattack began with this. You had one half of the evidence list, and I had the other. Apart, we wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture. Her shitty drawing. That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth. It's time for me to go. I can't deal with sappy goodbyes! Mr. Edgeworth, if you'll excuse me, there are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Not even a goodbye for your boyfriend? Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember, you can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, Mr. Wright. But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell.
Oh my gosh, this just reminded me of the love you thing in Star Wars with
No,
Leia.
for real. I love you, I know. I'd better be going too. Okay. But I'll be by to visit soon. It seems we both have a lot to learn, and catching up to do. Here. This is a little something for you. Scientific investigation! It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will. Aw.
I'm so confused.
I know. And so, another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And boy, has Emma's life just begun! And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself. Notice how Edgeworth was the last one to fade away.
A journey where I found out that I like men.
That I'm bi as fuck.
Well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal.
Huh? What is it, detective?
There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail.
But I thought you said it was okay.
Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story.
Huh?
Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. I was literally about to say that.
Huh? Way to go, detective! I didn't know you had a wild side!
Yeah, well, you see, Mr. Wright here is the one who will be footing the bill.
Huh? Huh?
What do you think? I can afford it with my salary in this economy? You gotta be kidding.
Huh? 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 Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best! Why is it? I suddenly feel like I want to scream.
No, it's fair. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together?
Yeah, that's a great
Mostly
idea.
your salary.
Come on, guys. Let's go.
Objection!
Objection! We're not doing that. It's time for the credits. Let's go. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.
Oh, let's go. Oh.
I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe to take care of Emma. I hope she'll be pleased to study under a top coroner. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days as at the prosecutor's office. Still, I'll manage to find my way back to the field somehow. Then, I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. That's sweet.
God, the sister company.
Yeah! I think there is a Gumshoe and a detective and a Gant in here, so just be prepared for that.
Don't worry.
Thank you, Kazuyanuri. You did such a good job designing the characters. Gumshoe.
Yikes, I thought I was a goner for a moment there. In the end, though, they overlooked my unauthorized investigation of Chief's office. If we penalize you anymore, it'd be worse than firing you. Yep, that's what they say. It just goes to show, you can't shake me off that easily.
Gumshoe's the best.
So true, Gumshoe.
He's the best.
He is the best. I
Thank
would
you,
make
you
him
two.
a good play of pasta.
Thank you, you four, for the art.
So true.
Dun, dun, dun.
Animation.
Thank you, you two.
Congratulations.
I'll be Meekins. My new mission is to guard the main entrance and take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard. My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. I'll show them, though. Someday I'm going to make detective. Yes, sir! Then I can be just like that dick Gumshoe! He idolizes Gumshoe. It's very sweet. Which, to be fair...
Wait, is his name actually Dick Gumshoe, or is this
It is
something
Dick Gumshoe, because, you know, detective.
Okay.
And then that was Mike Meekins. Let's see here. Who is it? Oh, it's just da 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 dun dun
Saying goodbye
dun
to us. He's
dun
waving goodbye.
dun 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 dun. It's the blue
I'm gonna
badger
rewatch these streams just so I
dancing
can hear the
happily. I do love just the tiny handprints on his face. Oh!
No, he's gone.
No!
Baby boy.
Oh, the blue badger gets worse from here on out, actually.
Oh no.
Oof. An entire franchise springs up around it in universe. Oh yeah,
Oh dear. What is it? Can you see I'm having a showdown with something?
steak lunch.
Star managed to sneak this steak lunch this to chef.
Well, cowboy.
Well, cowboy, it looks like you did it. You even gave Peppina back her smile. Can you make sure Billy and the gang get their water?
Yes, sir!
Thank you. Excuse me, I'm gonna plug this barbecue.
Thank you, Akemi Kimura, for the wonderful sound design. Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while.
Dramatic pause.
As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu. The Right Way lunch. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer is as sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the turnabout
So
theme.
true.
It's a hot seller around exam time. Just make sure not to eat it backwards.
What if you eat it together?
Then it would just be mid, I guess.
Bittersweet?
Oh yeah, I forgot Ben Judd localized the first one here. And Brandon Gay and Kari Funakoshi. It was taken over by Janet Sue after. I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Left?
Anyway, he said he's been doing something or other for how many years? Well, anyway, I got another trial to get to, so I'd better be... Huh? Oh, no, I forgot my gavel! Sorry, gotta go!
Don't worry, bud. It comes of age. It comes of age.
Earlier than you think. Bone Global Studios.
Yeah, I have it too. Every now and then.
I forget if Janet Sue is actually in here. Yokomoto. Very close. Oh, hi Maya. Ah, nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you and your objection. Still, I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium. Mystic Maya! Afternoon training's about to begin! Coming! Well, see you around, Nick. Yeah, she was the assistant for the main game. This was added during the DS port.
Oh, so it's like a DLC.
Basically, yeah. But it was included in the DS port, so...
I see.
Originally, it was just 4 cases on the Game Boy Advance. I do like this ending theme. It's really nice. I think I like Justice for All's better, though.
Don't worry, I'll be able to hear it once it's on the stream later.
Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth. I brought you your tea. Hmm? What's going on? Oh no. I'm assuming he hands that off to Mr. Wright. Edgeworth's not in his office. That's... concerning.
What did he just in the restroom, man? He's all good, man. He's good.
I don't know. Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright.
No more tears.
Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book.
Or you just visit her in prison.
I guess.
That's also an option.
Huh?
Yo!
Aw, this is cute.
Mail that never failed. Let's go.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
I just saw.
Look at this! Oh! Look at baby Emma! Oh! She's so cute, and she's got the reverse hairstyle of her sister.
Why can't I imagine her slapping the boys all around? Just like just straight in the face.
Who, Lana?
Like a tomboy, that's what it is. Why can't I imagine her being a tomboy?
Rise from the ashes. Complete, baby!
Let's go!
I wonder what that letter was about. Woohoo! And that, my friends, is the ending of Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, the first game in the Ace Attorney series. On Thursday, we will be starting the second game, Justice for All, and I think you'll be interested to see some new characters, obviously, because we need new witnesses and defendants and victims and maybe even a new prosecutor. Who knows? Who knows where Edgeworth is? Maybe he's here, maybe he's not. He was going to file that letter of resignation, wasn't he? Anyway, I am so glad you all joined me today, and my friend. Today was a long one, but it's fine. It's totally fine. I'm so glad I'm done with the first game, and I cannot wait to get into Phoenix Wright, Justice for All.